Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Today, we'll be talking about how you can measure success in the organic channel with Conductor. My name is Daniel Williams. I'm an account director here, and I've had experience with various stakeholders in the marketing industry, including prospects and customers. And I'm joined by the lovely Alexandra Dristas, who is a solutions consultant here at Conductor, and she shares similar experience as well. We've seen so much that we're here to guide you through what the best practices are for measuring success in the organic channel. And if you guys have any questions, you can put them in, but we won't get to them until the end of the session. So I'm going to start with looking at, there is a quote that we saw here, right? And a wise woman once said, we're not really sure where we found this quote, right? But we're going to attribute it to a woman. We're saying a wise woman once said that what you measure, you move, right? And it's predicated on simple logic. If there is no baseline of record, then we cannot report progress as success or failure. And if there is no understanding of where we are today, then there's no way to accurately identify where the opportunities exist for growth. When it comes to what we measure in organic marketing or in the organic channel, there are three main areas that we can look at for metrics. The first of which will include your visibility. So when we're talking about visibility, looking at our domain, for the terms that we rank for, how many terms do we rank on the first page of Google for, on the second page, on the third page, and so on. So understanding what terms are driving traffic to our business today and what terms can drive traffic to our business in the future. The second area that we can look at is market share. So when looking at the terms that matter most to our business, how often are we showing up on the first page? How often are competitors showing up on the first page against us? And what are the gaps that we may need to fill in order to increase our share of the market? Now, improving visibility and improving market share as well will allow us to improve our business performance. When we speak of performance, we're talking about key business metrics such as sessions, revenue, conversions, demo requests, et cetera, et cetera. And since I've mentioned the et cetera, I think I'd like to open up the poll to you guys to understand from you, what are some of the different metrics that you find most important to your business? In the meantime, while you guys put in some of the answers, me and Alexandra will sit here and smile and wave. It can be anything from sessions, as I mentioned, first page visibility, market share, demo requests, right? Form fills. See what we got here. Yeah, lots of responses coming in. Yep, so lots of responses, seeing some of you guys talking about, different metrics such as sessions. Yeah, demo requests. Yeah, that is a good one. Form fills. Yes. First page visibility. Also cool as well, right? And in being able to measure these different metrics, there is a lot of challenges that comes with this, right? And Alexandra and I have been in the field and we've heard a lot of different stories, right? As it pertains to all the challenges that I'm mentioning today. And we compiled some quotes that might be interesting for you guys to see. I'm not going to read them all out to you guys, but some of them are funny, so you can read them out on your own accord. But the overarching themes that we've seen consistent throughout the industry include some of the challenges include frustration with being able to pull disparate data sets together in order to tell a story. The challenge that it may be time consuming to tell a good story and report on the success of the organic channel. And the other challenge of it being, hard to get executive buy-in to the performance and understanding how organic marketing can affect your business moving forward and the progress that you've made thus far. So Conductors Platform was designed and made to enable you guys to easily report on the ROI of the organic channel. And I'd like to now pass over the mic to Alexandra, who will set the stage for some of the things we can measure across the three main areas of organic marketing we discussed earlier before we get into the demo shortly. So Alexandra?
Perfect. So let's dive in. So as Dan mentioned, we're going to be looking at 3 main metrics that can help be able to demonstrate and report on your success within organic. So first and foremost, we have visibility, right? So how well do I rank? What keywords am I ranking for across the different product lines, buyer's journey, personas? Am I showing up for the keywords that I care about there? When it comes to people also ask questions, answer boxes, rich snippets, and result types, do we have the ownership and authority there as well? Next, we're going to be looking at market share. So how does our visibility compare to others? Like, we all have our known competitors, the competitors that we're aware of, wanting to understand who else is showing up for those topics and terms that we know that we want to show up for. How visible are we? Even looking at it when it comes to local, global, or regional, as we're going to have different competitors in different areas. And then also being able to look at a competitive gap analysis to understand for strategies going forward, where do we have content gaps? Tying this all together here too will be around performance. So I have the content that I have created. How is my content performing? How well is it performing? And how am I doing when it comes to my entire domain, as well as different segments? If I'm focused on my blog, how is my blog performing, even down to that individual page level here?
Awesome. Great. So if you could walk us through and dive in and get into the platform, that'd be great.
All right, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here. Dan, want to let me know when you can?
Will do.
See a little mouse here?
It's loading, and here we are within the report section of the Conductor platform. Great. So the Conductor platform is great for doing research, finding opportunities, and taking action. But the technology is also really exceptional at reporting on your success in the organic channel through the workspace feature, which we are currently. So if we can walk through how we can create a new workspace, that'd be great, Alexandra.
All right, awesome. So we're going to create a workspace that showcases the visibility, market share, and performance for Q1. So I'm going to go ahead and select here blank workspace. To set the stage here, we are in demo B2B, so we're going to be using the zoho.com domain. So I'm going to call this my organic performance Q1. Great. So from here, I'm going to be able to add in the different widgets here. So just to set an outline, we care about, for today, visibility, going to also add in market share. And then we'll add in our performance. Spelled correct.
This is really cool. So if I have an agenda, I can kind of set it out first and then go find the data and bring it back in here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great way to outline and then go into the different views within the platform and fill in as you will here.
Great. So speaking of going to find that data, can we start with visibility?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get started in keyword visibility. So visibility is a key metric, as we've discussed, in measuring your SEO performance. So we're going to look at how we're ranking today, how we've ranked historically, what keywords we've moved on to page 1, and really just get an understanding of how visible our content is within the different locations we care about. So starting here within keyword performance, we're able to toggle to select or roll up the different domains that we care about. We can hone in on specific locations here, as well as setting the time frame. So right now we have this set to last quarter. So super simple to be able to set that data. And then really our customers right now are using keyword performance to be able to quickly understand the organic rankings and visibility that they have across their domain. So I can easily understand my keyword visibility and also compare it to historical performance within a view like this. So one thing you'll notice too is we have these orange widgets, which are add to workspace. Workspaces are our reporting dashboards, which we were just in. So I'll go ahead and add in our widget here to this quarterly reporting. I'm going to set this for the previous quarter and click add.
That's simple.
Super simple.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, this is really cool. I like the fact that in most of our different our features where data is found is set up in a similar structure where you filter at the top to tell the story that you'd like to tell, and then the data populates below. Now, Conductor was built and is iterated upon the founding principle of being customer first. It's not just the t-shirt that Seth's wearing and everyone wants. It's really a thing that we take to heart, right? So we look at our customers, notice what challenges they're experiencing, and build our platform to remove those challenges, and see what our successful customers do and iterate on our platform to ensure that we enable that. And this thing right here, this quick filters right below the charts, is an example of doing just that. We see that a lot of people like to see these different views, and we've made it easier for those just starting out on their journey to be able to see those views as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Dan mentioned, the quick filters we have here were created to highlight like important movements that we're seeing, really to give you direction in the platform. So I can easily come in and understand my wins, losses, and areas of opportunity. So features like this are going to make it really easy to identify, okay, we've gained 27 new keywords onto page 1 for the quarter. So we want to add that into our report that we've set up here. So I can easily add in that information for the quarter. And really, it's how do we do that? So we can look into just an example here would be this a specific keyword that we knew was important for us. So we saw that we had a piece of content from our support site, and it was ranking on page 3. So not really getting visibility, right? But we know that keyword's important. So in Q1, we created a new piece of content and optimized for what people were looking for. And now we can see that we have that content ranking in position 3. So easy ways to be able to, once we have this data, spend more time, being able to speak to the stories of how we got there. So we just looked at how you can measure your visibility and how it changes over time. I guess improves over time if you are doing things right. And now we're going to hop into looking at and talking about how you can look at your visibility and how that varies from location to location.
Yeah, global visibility is really cool. Oh, what's this?
So we're the only platform that's going to allow you to roll up your keyword visibility, as you can see here, across multiple domains, search engines. We're looking at this across different cities, countries, as well as different device types, and even can drill down to that to a category level. So really, a lot of SEO tools have local data, but often the data isn't presented in a way that you can compare or easily compare regions, gather insights, and understand where to focus so out of the box. So a challenge that we had heard from companies that we work with was that they were really struggling to surface local and global insights that they could actually act on, right? So we built this view where it makes it really simple to manage these large amounts of local data and easily surface them and share them with key stakeholders through, again, our reporting. So a view like this, where we can easily look to see where we have those gains and losses and even our market share, are great ways to be able to report on, regional or territory performance. For example, we can quickly look at this and see, if the East versus West Coast, for example, and add this to our reporting.
Yeah, East Coast versus West Coast, always a topic of discussion. What's really good, as you mentioned, this is extremely digestible, especially when it comes to reporting to the executive team, because it's pretty intuitive that the green means good, red means bad, and it's pointed towards the different locations as well. So in just a few seconds, I can understand where we're improving in market share and where we may need to put some more legwork as well. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these kind of visualizations, make it really easy to be able to identify, our successes. Where are we doing well? And we can see on the top here even too, what's our top performing locations. So great way to be able to get those insights that you can action on. So we talked about viewing your data through the lens of geography. So now we're going to talk about viewing the data through the lens of certain categories. So looking at product lines, personas, what stage somebody of the funnel someone's at. So if we just hop into the category portion here, we're able to see this type of roll-up reporting. So again, can do this for the different domains, search engines, et cetera. But really, this type of roll-up reporting, we productize based on existing Conductor users and their feedback. They were taking a lot of the data and rolling this up in BI tools, or we were creating custom reports. So we actually just productize advertised it in the platform. So this kind of information can be really helpful to share with like business development teams, merchandisers, buyers, product development, sales managers, basically anyone that wants to understand a bigger picture of the market. So this view, this view is going to give you visibility into understanding search demand, like your actual visibility here within the SERP. So what page are we on? How many keywords do we have on page 1, 2, 3, etc. As well as market share across those different categories. So you'll see here the categories are going to be based on your business needs. So think product lines, stages of the buyer's journey, persona, and also all of this will be drilled down into the locations that you care about.
Yeah, this is really cool, especially as we were mentioning earlier about what you measure, you move. Like once you can start to compartmentalize different keywords and terms that relate to each other as it pertains to product lines or different services that you offer or different sections of the website, you can start to understand, if you were to make progress towards or had a campaign towards any of these different product lines, you can then see what happened afterwards in terms of the visibility of that. So it's really cool in terms of reporting to be able to, kind of report on that view. And a lot of our customers really like this ability within Conductor. You mentioned something about market share.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I think that that's a really good segue as well from our visibility into our market share portion. So, we know how we rank today, where we're winning, where we have like the opportunities. So now it's important to look at the market share portion, right? And that total addressable market to see how our competitors are ranking, to be able to identify those gaps and also see our ownership of the search engine result pages. So love something within the platform here too is that our features are built and designed to be super interactive and simple to get to the next level of data. So if I want to look at market share, for example, I'm going to be able to just click through within any of these links, and it's going to take me into that specific product offering, and I can see all of the filters follow us through. So when we're hopping into the market share portion here, and to set the stage, when I'm talking about market share, I'm talking about market share of relevant search results. So as we both know here, it's important to track your total addressable market to be able to see your share of the relevant search results. We're going to give you the flexibility here to be able to look at your named competitors, which we have in here as comparison domains. So who do I, the Salesforce for Zoho, HubSpot, my competitors that I know I care about, my execs want to hear about, see how we're ranking. But we're also going to surface top rankers. So any emerging competitors, publishers, YouTube, anyone that's currently winning for searches you'd want to show up for.
Yeah, this is really cool because and speaking on the account director side, a lot of our customers really like these two different views because if you think about it, right, the terms that your competitors are getting traffic for probably convert much higher than other terms, right? Because it's the same market that you guys are both trying to go after. So taking market share away from those guys, right, is most likely to take away visibility and take away traffic and improve your performance more than other terms. So focusing on that, improving those competitive gaps really does help to drive the bottom line. And that's what this kind of view kind of shows you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can, again, with just visualization purposes too, looking at something like this, it's really easy to be able to get an understanding of how visible we are. So I'll go ahead and make sure we add this to our workspace as well here. We'll do this. Perfect. Another thing I want to make sure that we showcase too is that the ability to look at this historically. So we receive a lot of feedback from companies that use our platform that before they started using Conductor, it was difficult to report on competitors' organic performance in a way that's like super clear and actionable. So with these types of visualizations, it makes it so that you can spend less time cleaning up data that you have and really be able to provide your holistic market share in an easy way that's really digestible for executives. So I'll also add this one in because everyone likes to know how they're performing compared to those just main competitors as well.
Yeah. And I think this kind of segues, this is a good call out to our unlimited capabilities moving forward. So having unlimited keywords means that you can now track more things that are relevant to your business instead of a limited set. So with a wider scope of different terms that you're focusing on, you can now understand with more clarity what the market share actually and truly is with more accuracy, right? So understanding exactly how much market share you own and where your other competitors are really driving their traffic and how you can bridge that gap.
Yeah, absolutely. So one other thing we would definitely want to make sure that we're adding and looking into too, outside of just our historical performance, is diving into comparing our ranks really like head to head with those competitors. So we can do that regardless of whether you're tracking a competitor, but for this example, we'll hop into Salesforce. So in this rank comparison view that you're seeing, we're actually able to come in, make sure that we're not losing any of that key real estate to our competition. You'll see again these smart filters. So where are we exclusively on page one versus where are our competitors? And it just makes it really simple to identify competitive gaps and understand like where our competitors are showing up that we might not have content.
Wow, really cool. Another quick filter. So yeah, making it really easy there. So keeping a tab on what your competitors are driving traffic for and seeing and having that on a consistent basis for how you can bridge a gap is what most of our successful customers have on their agenda. So really cool. Wow. So we talked about, so in the beginning, we talked about improving visibility and market share and how that improved performance. Is there a way to see how we impacted performance as well within the platform?
Yeah, there is. So we can actually hop into our content performance portion of the platform. So we're within our analyze content and content performance. So that's like, what content do I have and how is it performing? So knowing where you rank and your market share are important, of course. We just walked through those metrics, but where Conductor is really going to come into play is piecing together all this data that you have and making sure that you're hitting your goals, and then also making it super simple to be able to report on how you're impacting your business's KPIs. So we're actually going to show you the impact of any changes that you make to content, to those on-page factors, as well as new content that you've created that started getting traffic. We're going to show you the impact that has on revenue and traffic, or whatever KPIs that you care about, so demo requests, form fills, because we're automatically going to tie together search data, change tracking, and your analytics all within this one view. So this is going to allow you to make connections between when on-page changes are detected. So we can see a list of the different changes that we're going to be tracking automatically here. For example, like I updated a title tag or I revised a meta description, things of that nature. And then we're going to correlate it with the organic traffic performance for those KPIs. So that's really going to help you be able to understand and demonstrate the value of your content and the value of your SEO efforts here. So current customers of ours leverage this data and our technology to measure the performance of their content, and also really just make this be like the system of record for all things around SEO, and to demonstrate that ROI, because it's really easy to tie content they've created or updates they've made to existing content to KPIs within a view like this.
Wow, I really like this. Is that, so for the time period that we selected, at the top right there, is it calling out all the totals that we had? So for sessions, wow,
yeah.
And it's all in one view.
Yeah, and I think that this is another view. So we're constantly taking our customers' feedback and really using that to make updates to our existing features. And so one thing that we heard again and again was the year-over-year data. So we're able to see how we're performing compared to last year. That's a great success measurement as well, and a metric that you would want to be able to showcase. Also, cumulative value. So looking at since, for the specific time period, how many of each KPI has actually been driven by the organic channel here.
Wow, so we can show cumulatively how we've accrued these different metrics over time. If we're focusing on conversions, then we can show that, or report on a different story if we'd like, and show where steep rises have occurred as well. Wow, this is really cool. And it's a good story to tell, especially because organic it's not a transactional effort in the sense that work that you do today will continue to reap rewards in the future. So looking at it at a cumulative view really does tell the full story.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we also, when it comes to segmentation, we can work with your site to understand whether that's like product lines or subfolders. So let's say, for the quarter, I've been really focused on the blog. I can drill down into that specific subfolder and just look at my blog and that performance. So it makes it really easy to be able to attribute to the efforts that you've been making and report on the different sections of the site that matter to different individuals here too.
Wait. So you're telling me that if I made changes to the blog or if I created new content, I can then report how much sessions, conversions, and revenue that drove to the business?
Yeah, exactly. So we actually, with some of our existing clients, will have in-house content teams. They will actually create, we have an example here, like subfolders. So can create a subfolder for all of the authors or writers. And then that way you're able to come in and actually get an understanding of exactly how many, conversions or form fills your content has driven. I can show you an example here actually at the page level. So let's say, Dan, you've created this multi-channel ticketing system for your customer support team's post or content for your page. So we can show you at the page level, like if there were changes that have occurred, what those changes were, and the impact those changes had on the performance of your content. So, we can see that on May 23rd, there was a title tag change. So you've gone in, you've done a bunch of optimizations to this content, for example. And then we can look to see, okay, we've also, since you made that change, the conversions and sessions have increased here. So definitely positive. So a way that you can measure the success. And also it means you don't have to go into your analytics and manually annotate every single time a change is made to your site or someone else does a change to your site, because we're going to automatically surface that before and after for you of all of those changes that are made and then tie them back to those key business metrics.
Oh, so it's automatic. If I change something on the site that relates to SEO, it's automatically detecting that?
Yep, that's correct.
Awesome. Can I make manual annotations too?
Yes, you can. So you can use our custom annotations here to be able to come in and let's say, we have Core Web Vitals coming up. So we could put that as a technical change because, any sort of algorithm updates would be something you would want to be able to make sure that you're documenting here, because anything that could have impact on performance. So company events, like if Black Friday, or if you have a specific sale or any sort of campaigns, it's really simple to be able to add in those custom annotations as well.
This is really cool. And I think what's also really good about this is, as you mentioned, Alexandra, being able to have those changes laid out here and then see how that affects performance afterwards. It seems like whatever we did on May 21st seems to have had a positive impact on traffic. So really good in terms of reporting to show ROI in terms of I did this and this is what happened. So really cool to see that.
Yeah, it's just a great way too that you can show the changes you're making and the content you're creating are having an impact, right? So that's definitely a really great success metric here.
Awesome. So we know it can be really hard using disparate tool sets to tie these things together, right, to performance. And that's why we're using an enterprise solution like Conductor comes into play. So as you can see, we can tie your visibility and market share seamlessly in with your analytics, giving you more robust reporting to prove the value of your SEO efforts to the executive team and value of your individual efforts as well as the overall marketing team as well, to show how you impacted key performance metrics such as the ones that you inputted within the platform. So we've been adding a lot of stuff to this report so far. What does it look like now?
Let's hop in and take a peek. So we're now back into the report that we had first laid out our visibility, market share, and performance metric outline. So each of the individual views that we walked through can easily, as you can see, be compiled into a single report. So you can share that with your execs, show off all the great work that your team, or for some of our customers, just them, are doing. Yeah. Right? And help prove the value of investing in SEO. So here's what I did, and here's the result of that. Also being able to, once we set up these reports, something that I love about our workspaces and our reporting dashboards are that they're dynamic. So it can really be set and forget. You can set them up to refresh on really whatever cadence that you see fit. We can come in here and actually schedule out emails to be delivered. So if you want for yourself like a weekly automated report, that's something that's really simple to be able to accomplish within the platform. If we want that quarterly report sent out, although I think most of the time when it does come to that executive reporting, our Conductor users tend to email that out so that they have a chance to look through all of the data, add in any sort of clarifications there too, but also something that is helpful for the efficiency purposes within the platform here too.
Cool. So I could set it quarterly and pretty much set it and forget it. So does this automatically update dynamically?
Yeah, so that's going to be when we were going through and adding in those different widgets, you can determine at what cadence you want that data to refresh, or if you want it to be just for a fixed time period, you can do that as well. So flexible.
Awesome. This is really cool. And the workflow that we just walked you through to put in all the different data sets that relate to things such as visibility, market share, and performance. This is a habit and workflow that most of our most successful customers do. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that the Conductor platform was meant and built to be customer first. So whatever most successful customers do, we iterate our platform to ensure that it's easy for those that are just starting out their journey to also replicate those efforts and endeavors. So we created a new workspace feature that allows you to pretty much recreate this with a press of a button. Alexandra, could you walk us through?
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll remember before when we first began, we were starting with a blank workspace. So as Dan mentioned, we have now created templatized reporting. So if you're like some of our existing clients that only have a few minutes to invest in SEO today, we made it really simple to be able to customize your performance report that you can share your successes. So we can walk through that actually right now. It just takes a couple of seconds here. So I can click on this SEO business review. I can determine what web property that I want to be able to review and report on. We can look across all keywords or our tracked keywords. For today, we'll follow the workflow we were walking through before and click on that tracked keywords. And then we can continue customizing this. So if I want to, for today, we'll look at the US, but pick my search engine, pick my location or device type here. And then I can continue to go through and determine, all right, what period of time do I want to report on? My custom dates, we'll do last quarter to stick with our Q1 here.
Yes.
And then what metric? So, we recommend doing this, choosing like a conversion metric or whatever your success metric is. Let's say this is blog posts. So we want to look at our sessions to see how many views we've gotten here. Mm-hmm. Then I can name this. So we'll call it SEO quarterly review. Q1 2020, and I can go ahead and create my workspace, again, reporting dashboard here. And
whoa,
voila.
All of this, wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be bringing together all of the different views within the platform based on really the best practices on what's been successful for our existing client reporting. It's also going to be pulling some metrics here for you to let you know, okay, at the end of the quarter, it looks like they had a total of X amount of sessions coming from organic, which is either an increase and decrease from the weekly sessions for the quarter. We'll see how many keywords we moved on to the first page. We already knew it was 27 because we did that together earlier.
Yeah.
And then how many keywords you have on page 1 in total, and if that's less or more than before. And you'll see on this side here, we see our things like our performance trends, our wins, what segments of our site is performing the best, where do we have increases, what maybe didn't go so well, looking at our result type ownership, so those rich snippets, people also ask, etc., and then like more of the competitive landscape. So just within a click of a button here, you're able to come in and create the kind of reporting that's going to give visibility into your organic performance and show that success here.
Oh, that's really awesome. And I really like the way, as mentioned a few minutes ago, right? Like this was designed to kind of replicate what most successful people do. And the overview section is something that most of our advanced users of the platform do. And to see that automated here for easy digest is really cool as well. So yeah, it's really good to see that we can make a bespoke reporting structure for our own needs and to schedule for our executives as well as ourselves. And if we're just starting out on our journey, through the click of a button, we can get a ready-made report based on what successful people are looking at. So really cool to see here. It's awesome.
Great.
Great. So with that being said, that's pretty much all that we wanted to show you guys, and wanted to open up the floor for questions. There's probably a lot of them that were coming in earlier, so you probably have to scroll up.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest multitasker, so I was like, all right, let's hop in and see what's going on here. All right, so I want to make sure, and if these have been answered, let's see, do we only track main cities? So we're going to be able to track in locations that are like more granular than even just looking at specific cities, so towns, etc. It's super simple for us to be able to expand on our local as well. So just something that we would have to run by our team. You can set up all of your, when it comes to, can we do custom keyword categories? Yes, absolutely. So we actually have an audience research onboarding team that will help understand what keywords you want to be tracking, and then really help you categorize those based on your business needs. So that'll be custom for you. And that looks like, oh, thanks, Joe. Looks like Joe's answered some questions in here.
Yeah, such a superstar. Joe Taylor fellow.
If there's unlimited keyword tracking, is there unlimited competitor tracking? Yes, that's correct. So we have unlimited competitors within the platform that you can track, as well as those unlimited keywords. So it makes it, especially when you're looking at like local, knowing to, if you have like physical locations, or if you care about your local performance, you'll have different competitors in different locations as well. So easy to be able to track and report on both. And then Claire got her answer.
See Renee just asking about, I don't see that she hasn't seen the template in her current workspace. It's currently in beta, so if you can reach out to your account director and he can get you involved.
Awesome. And then, so I think that any other questions?
Yeah, I think Claire also asks about content performance beta. So it is currently within alpha right now. So it should be opened a bit more to other folk within the next coming months. And so you can keep tabs on your account director and ask him or her to get you involved as soon as it's available.
Awesome. Okay, so organizing. So you said you could organize data based on buyer journey stage. Can you expand on that? Explain a little bit more. Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have a feature within the platform called content mapping that will really look at the different journey stages. You can set that up to look at, that compared to, so like, let's say our buyer's journey versus our persona, to understand if we have any content gaps there, or we can look at that from like product offerings and buyer's journey. But then also when it does come to setting up our keywords and categorizing those, there's normally different topics or keywords that are associated with our early stage content versus mid stage, like awareness versus consideration versus actually the transactional. So being able to set that up and categorize that to see as well, like where performing and what the demand is for those different categories of keywords based on where people are in the buyer's journey.
Awesome. Alice, could you show that really quick?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I was like, let me pull that up.
All right. It looks much cooler than Susie just said.
Yeah, I'll show you. So let me share my screen. Can you see a little content map here?
It's loading, and it's here. Yes, I can see the content map. So how do I get here?
So this is within our analyze content portion of the platform. So remember when we were looking at our content's performance, that was under content performance here. We can also look at our segment comparison, but content mapping is here. Use your imagination as well, because this is all going to be based on your business needs. You can even put in your own little pictures here as well. So they're a lot of fun here too. But we have our early, mid, and late stage. So I can see how many pages I have for each of the buyer's journey, each of the stages of the buyer's journey for each of my personas or product lines. Where I think it gets really interesting and impactful is when we can look at this performance-wise. So I can actually switch from visibility to performance to be able to understand for, again, those KPIs that we're piping in from tying into your analytics. We can see how we are performing and how those different sections of content are performing here for those KPIs. So I can see how many conversions they're driving. We're also, just to iterate on that a little bit more too, when it does come to personas and the journey stages, we can see here, now I'm back in our measure visibility, looking at the actual categories, we can see early stage content, right? We can see personas, and we'll organize and categorize those keywords based on where they're fitting in here. So I can understand that, hey, my early stage content for like how keywords around a specific topic has a really hefty search volume, should probably prioritize getting some early stage content and answering some of those questions around that specific topic.
That's really awesome. And it's like how we have these orange boxes in the top left-hand corner for everything. We could also report on that as well and add that to our workplace, correct?
Yep, absolutely. So we can add all of these features into our reporting dashboards as workspaces to be able to report on that and shoot that out for visibility.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that was all the questions. I think Cindy O'Keefe has a last question. Read buyer's journey content performance. Does anything flag us if maybe we've misidentified the stage for a content piece?
So that's going to be something where we're going to be helping on our end on our onboarding of setting up these content maps together with you. So we'll make sure that everything that you are setting up within a specific stage is something that you'd want to have within that stage.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. It was really fun. As Jill kind of mentioned in the chat, the recording should be available sometime either today, tomorrow, even later beyond that as well. But it'll be there for those who couldn't make it, and you can just reach out to your account director and they can share it as well. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us today. And the next session, I think, is tips and tricks.